Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Arknights reaction. Today we have Succession, which is the apparent successor to Wrathful Cerulean Flame, which I just gave a listen to last time. And given how epic that song was and how much I enjoyed the power behind that one, I'm really interested to see what the sequel to that would be. So, with many people behind the idea of me getting to this one, and without further ado, let's go. Kind of took a second to start. I was like, did I start the song? I did. It sounds familiar. Did they motif this? God, that sounds so eerily familiar. Yeah. All right. Burn the clouds away. Yeah. Okay. I was like, it's too close. It also did something else sounds familiar about this one. The drums there, like that. The percussion in the background, just like that. Is this Yuka Kitamura again? The composer of Ratio Ultima, is that? I'll have to check. It might be. Oh God, I love how this is tying in. Yeah, this has gotta be Yuka again. It's gotta be. Okay. Ooh. Keeping that motif in there. This whole song is just locking into that, which I respect a lot, actually. It just... Oh, God, that ending, too. All right, I'm gonna have to double check all of my guesses on this one. Okay, so I was correct. It was Yuka Kitamura doing this one again. I could tell almost entirely just based off the sound that she has. I mean, like, there's a lot of violin there, a lot of strings. Obviously, somebody whose main instrument is stringed instruments, of course, you would have a lot of strings, but even just like I had mentioned, the percussion and everything in there, it had a similar texture to Ratio Ultima, so I was like, maybe? But I wasn't positive because I've seen some other composers kind of cross that bridge a little bit and just it ends up sounding like somebody else, but it isn't actually them. But not surprised to see that she did two different songs in the same album, and I love that she kept that motif intact. This one felt a lot more like a proper reprise, like later in the act of the show, they bring this theme back and things are maybe a little bit more emotionally charged in a different way. There's a realization happening here where like the world is finally changed, or the person has finally changed into that final form that they were going to take, and there's a little bit of wavering mental unsurety there. Like you're just not quite positive that this is it, or what it took to get there was worth it. There's a lot of that in this. I've talked about this before in a Project Moon video, but this song also kind of touches on the stages of grief in a way. Not exactly the same way, but it definitely holds those emotional grounds where they need to be. It starts off a little bit slow, unsure. There's a sadness to it in the beginning that builds up into this confident, structured, big energy. There's a lot of pride in there, even if it's like a reluctant pride at certain spots. It doesn't feel like it's fully committing until like right near the end. So you could have this like denial feeling in there. And then as that full acceptance really ramps up and you get to like the spot with that chorus in there, it feels so much more like they've come into their own and they're accepting who they are and what it took to be where they are, and whether or not that was a good or bad thing is now in the past and it's time to look forward. Lots of that emotion happening. Just like at the end, everything has been accepted and you need to kind of ramp back down to where you were at the beginning, which is not so much saying that you're going back to the sadness, but accepting it and moving beyond that sadness to a neutral ground where you are just who you are now and there's no going back. So just the whole process of moving through those stages, getting those emotional beats in place. Yuka did an amazing job on that. She really, really nailed every single emotional beat there, which is not surprising given her library of work. Of course, she would get the emotions down, but I really love that she just married that motif too. She kept it alive through the entire song, and to me that shows how much she respected the source material of that and the game itself and just the character's backstory there, and really wanted to pay homage to that and keep it alive, keep the character alive, and make it feel like it's a truly her character building moment. And that's something that, while I haven't seen much of it being failed on the Arknights side, sometimes doesn't always play over as well with certain composers. I've definitely seen it in other games and properties before where it's just not quite there and something feels a little bit off. Music is so important, and I love it when composers really just accept that and they make the best thing they can, especially during the middle where it had that solo vocalist come in. It almost felt like a soul crying out in a way. Like there was definitely a moment of, we've lost somebody important here, and this is just how they're trying to portray that in the song. Like, I'm pretty sure this is a theme for Amiya. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I read that in a few comments of the original one, where like that was her first big like breakout song, her first individualized moment. And this song feels like she lost someone, and the only person I can think of that would fit that description is Teresa, who I only recently learned about through some of the other animation reaction stuff I've done. So like I'm getting the lore here through all of this, and I'm only able to piece that together because the music is helping me through all of that. I'm able to feel these emotional turmoils in her voice, so to speak. And again, Yuka did an amazing job nailing that and making these sorts of moments in the song feel like they're call outs to another character and feel like there's a remorse in it, rather than just avoiding things like that and making it much more personal. I really appreciate that from every composer who does it, like I said earlier. But man, when they nail it, and I love it when they nail it. So I'm going to say it a few more times. Love this song, love the absolute attention to detail, and I love all the emotional steps that she put in to make people like me, who might not even know, feel it that much more. This is a fantastic song, and I'm not going to keep saying that over and over again. I'm going to end it here with my thoughts. So thank you all so very much for watching. If I am correct about that relationship and this song and what it's supposed to represent, let me know down below. I do my best to gauge roughly what happens with these songs and their stories, but as we all know, I don't play these games, so I don't really know. It's just kind of third-party guessing and piecing together what I do know, and then utilizing the music to fill those gaps between and try my best to make sense out of the emotion in the tracks themselves. So if I am right or wrong, doesn't really matter. Feel free to tell me down below. I love to figure these things out and know where I can improve on that, albeit I'm fairly confident most of the time. Just like this one, I'm fairly certain that I'm on the right track. But I digress. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love it in a few days. I'm actually going to be live streaming the reaction to the live concert that happened a month ago that will be going global. I plan to do a full live stream for that when it comes out, probably the day after it goes public. Depends on, you know, time zones and all that, when I can get to it, but it will definitely be happening, so keep an eye out for that. And otherwise, if you have another song you want me to get to, drop it down in the comments below as always, and I will do my best to get to it. And otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!